I challenged myself to learn the Super Mario 64 speedrun in only 3 days, and it was probably one of the hardest speedruns I have ever done. The last time I played the game was during its release, which was over 25 years ago, so you can only imagine my pain and suffering relearning the entire game again. Why is Mario dying such hamster deaths all the time? So, let's start right away. Super Mario 64 has 5 different speedrun categories, and my category of choice was 70 stars. While the 0 star, 1 star and 16 star category were all too short to my liking, the 120 star category was rather long and I feared that I might run out of time before attempting a run. The 70 star category has just the perfect length for this type of challenge, with the world record standing at 46 minutes and 26 seconds as of the recording of this video. After deciding the category, I watched a movement guide by Raider, who helped me understand the mechanics of Super Mario 64 better. For example, I learned how to ascend slopes with a ground kick, which is a very important technique throughout the entire run. Huge shoutouts to Showrider, it was a great video. After I finished the video, I went straight into the game and tried out the movement techniques and hammered it into my head. Going up a slope with a ground kick took me the longest amount of time because I thought I had to press A and B at the same time. Later, I figured out that I just had to hold A and press B multiple times while keeping the A button on hold. That's something I completely missed during the guide. Now that I was somewhat comfortable with the movement, I dived into the most important part of this challenge, the 70 star route. Super Mario 64 has a total of 120 stars, featuring 15 different worlds that we can either access via paintings or other means. And each of these worlds we can collect up to 7 stars, which grants us a total of 105 stars. And the remaining 15 stars are scattered throughout the castle, either obtainable by talking to toads, separate levels or other means. We get 10 of these 15 stars, while the other 60 stars are obtained via the paintings. 70 stars are the minimum amount of stars to enter the final level, Bowser in the Sky. The speedrun starts with Mario jumping out a green pipe, and the first course of action is getting into Peach's castle. Theoretically, there's a skip where you can avoid Lucky 2 yapping so much, but for now I wanted to focus on the route, so I skipped the Lucky 2 skip. Called it the Lucky 2 skip. In the castle interior, the majority of the first floor levels are behind a paywall and we need a certain amount of stars to enter them. Except for Bob-omb Battlefield, where we collect exactly 1 star called Behind Chain Chomp's Gate. The star is located at the very beginning of the level and you can access it either by ground pounding the log or you glitch your way through with a Bob-omb. I spent a solid 30 minutes on this trick and I completely regret my decision. I managed to pull it off a few times in a row, but I used up 30 minutes on 1 out of 70 stars. After collecting the star, we head upstairs to Princess's secret slide. And there's another speedrunning trick you can perform by bumping into this wall, and with the right controller movement, Mario turns around and you can skip a majority of the level. I spent another 20 minutes on this. Almost 1 hour into the route and I only got a few stars. Usually at this point we should have 2 stars, but I completed the slide 2 times and had 3 stars. After the slide we enter the next world, Whomp's Fortress, and we collect every single star in it. The first star was Blast Away the Wall, where another glitch waits, Cannonless. However, this glitch has an easy setup, so all I had to do was follow the instructions to align myself properly and boom, I clipped through the wall and collected a star. The next star was Fall onto the Caged Island. Usually to get this star, you get help from this owl and it flies you above the cage. However, there's another trick called Owlless, where you skip the owl entirely, which is very hard to perform. I spent another 20 minutes on this trick. You might think I should have learned from my mistakes after the first 2 stars, but I was a special kind of stupid. The other stars were all easy. Collect the 100 coin and the 8 red coin star together, they shoot into the wild blue star, which you can obtain with a wall jump on the left side of the level, the chip off Whomp's block star, obtainable by defeating the Whomp on top of the level, and the to the top of the fortress star, which is unlocked by beating the Whomp and climbing on top of the tower. With that, all stars are done and you should have 9 stars. However, I had 10 stars because I completed Princess Secret Slide a second time already, which you would usually do now. With 10 stars, you unlock the level Tower of the Wing Cap. By looking up at the ceiling in the middle of the first floor, you enter it. Here I collected all red coins to gain another star and pressed the huge red button to unlock the wing cap in other levels. Next I was going to Bowser in the Dark World, where I collected the red coin star and defeated Bowser to get the key for the basement. But instead of going to the basement, I paid Bob-omb Battlefield one last visit to collect the star, shoot to the island sky, where I had to use the newly unlocked wing cap. I had to kick my way to the top of this hill and slide down, jump and fly at the right time to get up this island. It took me a long time to get this star done. And with that, Bob-omb Battlefield was done. The next world on the list was Cool Cool Mountain, where I collected 5 stars in total. Wall kicks will work, where you have to fall down right at the beginning of the level to where the star is located. Little Penguin Lost, which required you to carry the baby penguin to her mother, or maybe not. Slip Slide in a way where we have to enter the chimney right at the start of the level and ride down the slide. And last with 100 coin and the big penguin race star. This is super difficult in the beginning because not only do you have to win the race against the penguin, but you also have to watch out for your coin count during the race. If you have too many coins, your 100 coin star might be out of reach, and if you have too few, you can't collect both at the same time. With all stars done, I headed to the next world, Big Boo's Haunt. The 2 stars to collect here are Big Boo's Balcony, where you wall jump in the first room of the mansion to get up the balcony and defeat the Big Boo, and Secret of the Haunted Books, where we also wall jump in the first room in order to reach this door, which leads right to another star. Now let's head further down the basement. The first star I got in the basement is the star from Mips. This bunny was a real pain, and honestly I was just happy when I got the star. After that I entered Shifting Sandland, where I collected 3 stars. Pyramid Puzzle. Theoretically there's another Bob-omb clip that you can perform, but I've learned from my mistakes and did it the easy way by standing on top of the 4 pillars. And the Talents of the Big Bird, which requires you to get very fast on top of this pillar and jump off this fly guy to reach the bird, and shining atop the pyramid. For this you turn the camera around and perform a triple jump dive into this area. This triple jump gave me a lot of trouble in the beginning. Next up was Lethal Lava Land with 6 stars in total. Red Hot Log Rolling, which you can collect by using the wing cap and a well-timed triple jump to fly over the fence. The 8 coin star, which was pretty simple. Boil the Big Bully, where we toss the bully into the hot lava, followed by the 4th star, Bully the Bullies, where we do the same thing, just with babies. And our last 2 stars are in the volcano. Elevator Tour in the volcano, where you jump into the lava to damage boost yourself up this platform and ride along it until you get to the star, and hot footed into the volcano. Here waits a difficult technique called lava boosting, where you jump against the lava and try to get up by damage boosting yourself. But you can easily damage yourself too much and die. I tried it over and over again, however this technique turned out to be too difficult for me at my current level and I completely scrapped the idea. Instead, I collected the star normally. Yes, it is a time waste, but I didn't know any other option. With Lethal Lava Land completed, I had 30 stars in total. Just enough to open the Bowser door in the basement where another level waits. Dire Docks. Here are 3 stars to collect. Chests in the current, which was a total pain for me because the swimming mechanics coupled with the chest opening mechanics are a pain. I hate this star. Bought Bowser's Sub, which was just a long swimming trip but pretty simple overall, and the Manta Race reward. This made me seriously angry and not only question my own abilities, but also my eyesight. You have to swim through 5 water rings in a row that the Manta Ray leaves behind. But for some reason the detection of these rings is so incredibly bad that you can sometimes swim through a ring, but the game gives you the biggest middle finger in existence and doesn't count it. What a stupid star. After Dire Docks was done, I headed to Bowser in the Fire Sea, where I collected all 8 red coins and defeated Bowser, getting the key for the 2nd floor. The first level I entered on the 2nd floor was Wet Dry World, where I collected 5 stars in total. You can manipulate the water level at the start of the level by your jump height. Jump low into the painting and the water level is low. Jump high and the water level is also high. For the majority of the world, you want a low water level. The first 2 stars were Secrets in the Shallows and Sky, together with the 100 coin star, which were not too hard. Express Elevators Hurry Up, which is obtained by using the elevator near the start of the level. Shocking Arrow Lifts, where you can just teleport yourself to the star. And Top of the Town, which is the only star requiring you to have a mid-water level. The star is just in the box at the top of the level and pretty easy to get. The next destination was Tiny Huge World. Depending on the painting you enter, you either start at the Huge World or the Tiny World. But for every single star we want to enter the Tiny World. We collect 3 stars here. 5 itty bitty secrets, which is kind of finicky to get with everything being so small. It was a huge pain for me, but I think that was more of a skill issue. Pluck the Piranha's Flower, where we enter a pipe to enter the huge world and kill the piranha plants. And the tip top of the huge island, where we have to enter this pipe to get to the huge world and then just go up the top where our star waits in a yellow box. The next world was Total Mountain, however on my way there was a toad who gave me a star, bringing my star count up to 43. In Total Mountain there are exactly 5 stars we want to collect. Scale the mountain, where I had to perform a wall clip right at the beginning of this level. This clip was not easy at all. After clipping through the wall and getting up the mountain, I just had to use a few more ground kicks to get further up and collect the star. Breathtaking view from the bridge, which also required the same wall clip and was very close to the first star, which is honestly nice. That means I could just practice one trick for 2 stars. Blast the Lonely Shroom, where you grab this box at the right angle and get the right stick positioning to collect the star. The 4th star was the 8th red coin star. And last, Mysterious Mountainside, which you get by jumping off of here and kick your way to the star. And with this star done, Total Mountain was complete and also day 1. Wait, day 1's already over? Yes, I streamed a bit over 6 hours and only got 48 stars. 22 stars were still waiting for me, but it was already 1 AM. All these little tricks like the bomb clip and Owless cost me so much time that I didn't even finish the route. This was probably the biggest mistake in this entire challenge. Instead of practicing skips that save a few seconds, I should have written it down for later practice sessions so I can focus on the speedrun route itself first. Day 2 started right where we left off. I went upstairs to the 2nd floor and entered Snowman's Land, where I had to collect 4 stars in total. The Snowman's big head star. After using a few wall jumps right next to the igloo, you can get on top of the snowman and grab it. In the Deep Freeze, which is located right at the start of the level, well from the freezing pond, where you jump over this wall and open up the yellow box. And Chill with the Bully, which is probably the most satisfying way to achieve by just diving into the bully and pushing them off the platform. The next level was Hazy Maze Cave. On our way there, we catch Mips again for another star and talk to the toad right next to the level entrance for another star. In Hazy Maze Cave are 4 stars in total. Swimming Beast in the Cavern. For this I had to enter this room and take the elevator. While the elevator is moving down, I had to jump off before the elevator reaches the bottom and walk against the wall. This way, the elevator clips me through the wall right to the star. Metalhead Mario can move. For this I entered the same room and had to wall jump against this wall to enter the same area. But this room gave me so much trouble. The camera in Mario 64 is sometimes very dominant and it did not let me change the angle at all. After entering the area, you can double jump wall kick against this wall in order to reach the switch in the water, which you usually only reach with the metal cap. After that, you can enter the room to get the star. Amazing emergency exit, which is located right at the beginning of the level. A wall jump to the top platform and a long jump to the other platform, and the star is easily obtainable. And watch for the rolling rocks, which you can get after wall jumping off this wall near the rolling rocks. And with that, Hazy Maze Cave was complete and we could head upstairs to the 3rd floor where the 2 hardest levels remain, Rainbow Ride and Tick-Tock Clock. The first level I entered was Rainbow Ride, which required me to do a very hard trick right from the start. For almost every single star I had to do this triple jump into a wall kick to get up the rotating platforms. I barely managed to get it a few times. The first star was Cruiser Crossing the Rainbow, and this star was so incredibly hard for me. I had to run towards this wall, long jump against it, wall jump and get up on the side. I managed to get this trick down 1 time and gave up. I spent over 20 minutes on this singular star and didn't even collect it once. So that's it, right? I can't collect the star and the challenge is over. Not really. There were 2 options. A, I get the star the normal way, which takes way more time. Or B, I substitute the star for another one. And I chose B. The star I got instead was the 8 coin star in Snowman's Land, which is fairly easy and fast to obtain as well. I thought I'd rather lose a few seconds in my final run than losing hours upon hours practicing 1 star. I can save some time somewhere else for the challenge. Now the real first star for me in Rainbow Ride was Tricky Triangles, which was relatively simple to get all things considered. The second star was the 8 coin star, which was also not too hard after the triple jump, and Swinging in the Breeze, which is the only star not requiring this difficult triple jump, but instead a long jump to the other side in the beginning. Therefore you had to perform a very precise triple jump at the end to gather the star. Finally, Rainbow Road was done. I collected another star from Toad and my star count was at 63 with only 1 level remaining. Tick-Tock Clock. I needed 70 stars to whoop Bowser's ass and 7 stars were missing, which means I had to collect every single star in Tick-Tock Clock. Before entering TikTok clock, I had to make sure that I enter the clock when the minute hand is exactly at 12. This way, nothing in the level moves, which is important for every single star. TikTok clock is a difficult level with tons of tight movement, and if you make one mistake, you will fall all the way down and die. The first 2 stars I've tried together with a 100 coin star and stomp on the twomp. This required a ton of tight jumps like a triple jump into a wall jump on this position. This jump alone took me so much time. Another difficult jump was this wall jump here, similar to Rainbow Ride. But I quickly abandoned it and walked a long way. Overall, this was probably the hardest 100 coin star for me, and I knew this would give me trouble in the final run. Next was roll into the cage, where you go to the left instead of the right. This requires a bit of platforming, but is overall relatively simple. Get a hand, which is close to roll into the cage, but instead you long jump to it. It is not really hard, just a matter of positioning yourselves properly. The pit and the pendulums, which requires you to go a similar way, but stop at this cube instead. From here, you perform a jump kick into double jump, into triple jump, into wall jump, and grab the ledge. After that, the star is easily obtainable. The 6th star was timed jumps on moving bars, where I also needed to do the same triple jump off the cube again. After a bit more platforming, the star can be found in the cage. And the last star was the red coin star, which is right at the beginning and very easy to collect. And with that, I obtained every star in TikTok clock and had 70 stars in total. Time to enter the level Bowser in the Sky and fight Bowser. The level itself is pretty tricky to do fast, and I implemented a few tricks here and there like well-timed triple dive jumps and long jumps to reach Bowser faster. And the Bowser fight itself gave me a lot of trouble because of the camera. Every time I zoomed out, I couldn't see where I had to throw Bowser, and I tried this fight over and over again, but to no real success. It was not about winning, it was about finding a way to get it done fast. Kill! And then I found the solution. I couldn't see the bombs, so why do I just not zoom out and keep the camera close to Mario? And this actually did the trick. My Bowser throws were getting better and I finally finished the game after 9.5 hours. This was absolutely brutal, but it wasn't over. It was time for the next step. I only had about 4 to 5 hours left on day 2 and I wanted to make sure that the route was at least correct. So I did a test run. If I didn't get a trick like the bob-omb clip, I just obtained the star normally. At this stage, it was not important if some minor skips that save a bit of time are working out. It was important that I knew where I had to go. All I had to do was write down which tricks gave me trouble so I can come back later and practice it again. And to my surprise, I did not make a single mistake on my way. The whole route and every star was in my head. However, I still made a ton of mistakes when it comes to skips and glitches that I had to practice. In Bob-omb Battlefield, I practiced the bob-omb clip until I got it down and the trick where you had to slide down the hill and fly up the island. In Womb's Fortress, I practiced owlless but also going up with the owl. For the real run, I gave myself 2 shots to get owlless done. If I don't get it the first time, I just defeat the Womp, and if I don't get it the second time, I go up the tower and collect the star. If I fail both times, I use the owl instead. In Cool Cool Mountain, I practiced the 100 star coin with the penguin race, and I also practiced carrying the baby penguin to its mother, because I often lost it in the process. Then I practiced the trick in Princess Secret Slide a few times, because it was a quick thing to practice. I optimized my movement in Bowser in the Dark World to safely get the red coins. In Lethal Lava Land, I practiced the bully sections, and 1 star in the volcano just for safety. In Shifting Sandland, I practiced the jump on the fly guy to make it more consistent. And there was the other star on the pyramid, which required me to do a triple jump over the slope. I got it like 30% of the time, but then I had an amazing idea. What if I just ground kick my way up the slope? This way it should be 100% consistent. Either I get up with the triple jump, and if not, I just use a few more ground kicks to get over the sand. It was the perfect safety plan. On Tall Mountain, I had to get the trick down where you clip into the mountain and get up instantly. I practiced this trick until I found a setup which was consistent enough for me by just running straight up to the wall, long jumping, and diving into it at the right moment. In TikTok Clock, I practiced the 100 coin star because it was one of the hardest stars for me in the entire game. And in Rainbow Ride, instead of practicing the individual stars very long, I practiced the beginning triple jump into wall jump a ton. This was necessary to gain 2 stars, and dying would be a huge time loss. So I practiced it until I found a consistent way for me to perform it by using a ground kick, double jump into triple jump while simultaneously positioning myself further and further to the right to better reach the rotating platform which I need to wall jump off. The practice session paid off and some tricks were becoming more consistent. At this point, I was already streaming for 7 hours and I needed some sleep to be prepared for the final day. So I headed to bed to be fit enough for the speedrun. It was day 3 and time for some speedruns. I practiced everything again from the previous day for about an hour. Especially the important parts like the wing cap star in Bob on Battlefield and the mountain clip in Tall Tall Mountain. My very first run started off pretty good. I got to Bob on Battlefield and nailed the bomb clip first try. Easy peasy. But after that I made a ton of mistakes. The Princess Secret slide was not going well. I totally messed up Owlis in Bomb's Fortress and I even died one time in Bowser in the Dark World. Therefore I was able to pull off other parts first try like the mountain clip in Tall Tall Mountain. Meanwhile, the star 5 itty bitty secrets in Tiny Huge Island gave me huge issues and it took me 10 minutes to collect. I knew there were some parts that are inconsistent, but this star? At the end, the run clocked in at 1 hour and 47 minutes, which was not too bad for a first run. But there were a lot of places I could improve on, and that's also what the first run was for, figuring out where I really needed to improve. So I practiced these sections, especially the star in Tiny Huge Island, and after feeling confident enough, I started the final run. My goal was to get a time around the 1 hour and 30 minute mark. Let's do this. The run started off in a very bad but also funny way. I didn't get the Bob-omb clip in Bob on Battlefield and the chain jump decided to guard the log with its whole body? What? I got absolutely outplayed by this chain jump, but I still kept going and made my way to Princess Secret Slide, where I absolutely nailed the trick on my first try. The next stop was Bomb's Fortress and I could not have asked for a better fortress. First I tried my luck on Cannonless. I aligned myself properly, followed the setup and got the star on my first try. And then it was time to go for my first try on Owlis. As mentioned earlier on day 2, I only gave myself 2 shots at getting it. And then this happened. Holy! That was super clean! I got it on my first try in this run. Absolutely insane. It felt so rewarding. I cleared up all the other stars in Bomb's Fortress and then headed straight to Princess Secret Slide to collect the second star, where I managed to get the wall bounce trick again. The training definitely paid off. After that I unlocked the wing cap plus red coin star and went to Bowser in the Dark World. Unfortunately, I died one time in this level near the very end, which lost me a bunch of time. But on my second try I gathered all the red coins, tossed Bowser around and got the key from him. Next I went to Bob on Battlefield and finished up the last star. However, this trick was so inconsistent that it took me an entire 3 minutes to get it. Next up was Cool Cool Mountain and it went pretty well. There was not a single star which gave me a huge issue. Sure, the movement could have been better, but that was not my concern. I didn't die a single time and got every star on my first try. Next I headed to Big Boo's Haunt and collected the 2 stars in here. This is probably the easiest level overall, with only 2 stars and I never really had any issues here. Then I collected the star from Mips and entered Shifting Sandland, where I died 2 times while trying to collect the star inside the pyramid. The good part is that you don't have to go through the whole pillar section again if you die, and you can enter the pyramid from the very start. Other than that, I failed to jump on the fly guy 2 times to collect the star from the bird, and the last star was overall pretty easy. Next up was Lethal Lava Land, which always gave me huge problems because of the bullies and the volcano section. But surprisingly enough, not this time. I collected every single star on my first try, I bullied the bullies and my movement in the volcano was clean as well. A very good level overall. After that it was time for Dire Dire Docks, where I died 1 time while trying to collect the chest star. I really didn't like the movement in this section because opening the chest was super wonky to me. And how did the Manta Ray star go? Despite the fact that I always had trouble during my practice session with the star, I got it first try. I really hated this star, but I was glad I got it so early. And yeah, the submarine star was whatever, that's always an easy star to get anyway. Next up was Bowser in the Fire Sea, and in the beginning it went pretty well, until I got to the very last coin and was on low health. The star was already inside, but I only had 1/8 of my health left. I tried to get to the star, but failed in doing so and died, wasting a huge amount of time again. On my second try I got it instantly, but man I wish I got it. Bowser himself was easy as always, I just threw him against the bombs and collected the key for the second floor. The next level on the list was Wet Dry World, and except for 1 star, everything went very well, and funnily enough, it was the easiest star in the entire level, the one where you had to teleport. My whole issue here was that I accidentally entered the level too high, resulting in a medium water level. This way I couldn't reach the star and I honestly didn't know what to do. So I was quitting out of the level and re-entered it. There was definitely a faster way to obtain the star, but at the moment this was the fastest way I could think of without having any backup plans. Next up was Tiny Huge Island, the level which gave me so much trouble. So how did it go? The star which took me 10 minutes to collect before was a first try, and every other star was a non-issue. A huge improvement to my previous run. After that I headed to Tall Mountain. I clipped 1 time through the mountain and was able to climb to the mountain top. And for the second time I also clipped through the mountain immediately, but overshot a bit and died. On my next attempt I immediately got it and collected the next star. The training definitely paid off. The other stars in this area were never really an issue to me, so I quickly collected every single one and finished up the level. Next up was Snowman's Land. My movement was not really the best here and I failed 1 time the wall jump near the snowman, which forced me to rethink and collect another star instead. But on my second try I got it and got to the top of the snowman to get the star. After that I finished up all the other stars in Snowman's Land and cleared the level. The next stop was Hazy Maze Cave, where I collected a few stars on my way to the level. I went into the room with the elevator, performed the wall jump, and then this happened. What did I do wrong? That can happen? Yeah, cool. Wow. Can happen. This was the first time I've seen this happening, and of course, it was during a run. Despite that, I was able to gather every single star without further issues, except for this elevator not letting me clip through the wall. And then it was time for one of the hardest levels in the game. First on the list was Rainbow Ride. I entered the level and prepared myself for the triple jump, and I got it first try. The red coin star afterwards was pretty simple and was a non-issue. 1 out of 2 difficult jumps are done. Now I went for my second attempt at this tricky jump, and I got it again. Oh, 2 for 2! I was incredibly pumped at this moment. Then I maneuvered around the triangles and finished up the star. You can see that I was very happy about it, not only because this jump was super tight, but also that I could see how far the practice got me. The last star was relatively easy and I also collected it on my first try. Now only 1 level remained, which was Tick-Tock Clock. The first 2 stars I wanted to collect were the 100 coin and the Twomp star. And as you can see, I changed my strategy. Instead of doing the tricky triple jump off the side, I started it from the cubes at the bottom. It was definitely slower, but it was more consistent for me, so I went for it. I got these 2 stars on my first try, and with that out of the way, I just had to finish up Tick-Tock Clock's remaining stars. It was not the fastest Tick-Tock Clock by any means, but I got more consistent, and that's all what I wanted. The 2 hardest levels for me, Rainbow Ride and Tick-Tock Clock, were done, and with 70 stars I was allowed to head straight to Bowser in the sky. So I made my way up the staircase and entered the final part of this run. I had the opportunity to get a run under 1 hour and 30 minutes, so I made my way up to Bowser. The only thing in my way was a bit of platforming and the platform. And this happened not only once, but twice. This was a typical mistake in the category. This never happened to me before, and I wasn't prepared for it. The dream of sub 1 hour 30 minutes was over, but I still had to finish up the run. So I made my way to Bowser, with a few complications here and there, entered the pipe and was ready to throw some turtles. I aligned myself for the first throw, released Bowser, and missed. Then I grabbed Bowser a second time, threw him again, and also missed. However, Bowser was very close to the bomb already, so I could just lightly throw him. 1 throw out of 3 was done. But I only had a little bit of health left, and it got increasingly scary. I knew I had to log in to win this as fast as possible, and from here on out, I let the gameplay do the talking. Okay, locked in. And time. Ooh! The 3-day challenge is over. It's over. That's a big improvement. That was only the second run. We only practiced this game for 3 days and got 1 hour 32 minutes. You know what the best part is? I got flawless first try. It's so amazing. Also, the Rainbow Road was nuts. I got to jump 2 times. I want to do that with more games if possible, because honestly, that was pretty fun. I don't know if that was really a good time, but I feel like it was not bad. I think it was a good start. I ended the run at 1 hour, 32 minutes and 34 seconds. As you can see, I was happy with the time. Super Mario 64 is not an easy game to speedrun at all, especially with the time limit I have given myself, but it was a very fun challenge. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you like these type of challenge videos, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe and hype the video up. These videos take way longer than my usual videos, so every support is highly appreciated. Thank you so much and I'll see you all next time. Have a good one, bye bye.